I know the shirt is gonna make it seem like I'm lying about this, but I didn't realize how much I loved Spider-Man until this movie. This changed something in my brain. Okay, I'm just gonna start by saying, I love Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man, I love Spider-Man, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the best thing. As soon as this movie ended, I texted my best friend and I said, hey, if there was a draft, like an all things draft for the entirety of the earth, Spider-Man would be my #1 overall pick. And I don't mean a specific movie or a specific performance. I just mean the concept of Spider-Man is #1 overall. Because like, what's better than Spider-Man? Where do we even begin? So I saw this movie in Portugal because I was in Madeira when it came out. It was so cool. The theater was packed, Spider-Man merch, and they had action figures, and it wasn't just kids. It was like mostly adults my age showing up for this movie, which was really, really cool. If I want to throw that in, here's me at the Spider-Man movie. Here's me at the Spider-Man movie. You get it. But, Spider-Man means a lot to me. I think I have just fuzzy memories of being really, really young, 4 years old, and I'm sitting in my room, and I don't remember anything about the way the room looks, but I had a Spider-Man bed sheet, I had a Spider-Man graphic pillowcase, and I had a Spider-Man calendar up on the wall. I had Spider-Man show up at my birthday party one year, and that made me really scared because I was nervous. Like, this is Spider-Man, I'm just a kid. It followed me throughout my whole life. I remember loving Spider-Man 3, even though it got the backlash. I didn't really ever connect that strongly with the TASM movies because it felt like a change from what I was used to. I was like, this is cool, but this isn't Spider-Man. This is like something else that's pretending to be Spider-Man. But I never let myself get that invested in those movies. And the same kind of thing happened with the Tom Holland movies. I was excited to see him show up in Civil War. I was excited. I went to all those movies. No Way Home was amazing. I love Spider-Man, as I've said. But it never quite clicked. I don't know why exactly. It could be the fact that I was nostalgic and holding on to Tobey forever. No matter what flaws there were, I was just like, well, I'm consigned to just being a Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man guy for the rest of my life. It's just the fate that I have to live with. I had high hopes for Brand New Day, but I can't say I've been immune to the fatigue, and it's the word looming over everything. But spoiler alert, making a video about the MCU, we're marching towards Doomsday, and it feels almost ominous in this way that Doomsday represents to me more of the death of the MCU in a Doom kind of way than it does in a resurgence or a big event movie. To me, it will feel anticlimactic, but I'm making a video about that, so shh for now. I was gonna try to be objective and unbiased and look at this movie through a critical lens and say, is it actually really good, or is it, what are the issues, whatever, because it will have issues. And then in the first scene of him swinging through New York, which is about 2 minutes into the movie, I was sobbing. Like tears streaming down my face, and I couldn't explain it. I cry a lot during movies. Basically every movie makes me cry because I cry about sad things and happy things and parents and kids and getting older and just humanity. Displays of humanity really get to me. And something about this full circle moment of seeing him finally do the thing that I've wanted this whole time. Oh, it's so fun. It's so good. It's so stunning. It's so rich and colorful, and the way he moves, the wind, it's that Andrew Garfield thing again of him soaring through the air, but it's done a little bit more like, I don't know, grounded and tastefully. Like the Chasm one feels a bit cinematic. It feels a little like we're doing this because it's cool, not because it makes sense for him to swing around that way, which I loved. The TASM swinging scenes are incredible. These swinging scenes are so good too. The way Tom moves now feels so fleshed out. It feels like somebody with a vision of what Spider-Man should be like, a love for the character, has brought it to life. It doesn't feel like an extension of, oh, well, this is what we're limited by with CGI, or this is how we have to make the model. Like those Far From Home scenes, or even the No Way Home swinging, where I'm like, he doesn't really look like he's swinging. It looks like you're moving a prop through a green screen. This swinging was just so organic and fun, and the way he swoops down and talks to people and the quipping. And okay, the thing that bugs me about superhero movies a lot of the time, and movies in general, but it's mostly superhero movies because they rely on the big action spectacle set pieces, is you get like 10% to see in quick bursts what you want, because usually that's the expensive part. I'm a firm believer in that story comes first, but I also recognize that when you're selling a blockbuster to people and saying, hey, this is a time when you can only see this level of action here, I get that people want the explosions and the car chases and all that, even if they're not that important to me. But when you watch it, I want to be able to see what's going on. I want to be able to witness and feel the gravity of the things happening. And then it happens for 30 seconds because it costs a lot, as I said, and then it's over and you go back to standing and talking. And what has happened in recent times with superhero movies is that suits, the specific suit of the character, the look of the character has kind of gone into that same realm of the part that you don't get to see because it's expensive for very long, because now it's CGI or now it's unwieldy or the actors don't want to be in it that long or it requires a stunt double or it removes the expression. We're paying Tom Holland 20 million, we're gonna get his face as much as possible. And I'm so glad that whoever was in charge of this movie recognizes that Spider-Man as a being, as an entity, as a visual, is iconic enough and significant enough that it outweighs anything else. And so I love that we get to see him. We get to see him in the suit. We get to see him in different situations. We get to see him walk around, interact with people, quip, muss a kid's hair up after he saves him, swing through a bunch of guys and go, oh yeah, go home, Frank, as he's like swinging away backwards. It's so good because I just want to watch him. It makes me feel like a little kid again. When I'm sitting in a theater as a 24-year-old man, all I want to do is go, it's Spider-Man! Guys, it's Spider-Man! And I'm like wanting to talk to everyone around me. You know how people make fun of the kind of MCU fan who goes to movies and they're like, oh, Doctor Strange is in this one, and oh, it's Scarlet Witch, oh, it's Thanos, I know Thanos. And like, it's the point of the screen, jingle the keys, cameo fest type of fan. Listen, I didn't think I would ever be that kind of person, because I don't think I am. But I didn't think I would be that kind of person going to the movie that the character is like based on. Like I'm going to a Spider-Man movie and I'm excited to see Spider-Man. It's so silly, but it's so true. It's so authentic to me because it didn't matter what he was doing. He was sitting in damage control having like a normal conversation, a talking head, two-shot back and forth. And I'm like, it's Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man, he's right there. Him just being in the suit and the little eyes reacting every so often, but mostly just him like looking around, the body language. I'll say it, I've talked around it a little bit. Tom is so good in this movie. He's the best he's ever been as Spider-Man, and it might be his best ever performance in anything. I saw The Odyssey like 2 weeks ago, and I did not like him in that movie. I thought he was forced, and it always feels kind of like you're watching somebody act. You're watching somebody portray a character because Tom Holland is just like a nice dude, and so he's just being a nice dude pretending to be somebody else. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because he's portraying someone older or sadder, or if he's more comfortable in this role now and he's made it his own and he feels like he can separate, or if he's just a better actor now because he's gotten more mature. He's not 20, he's now 30. He was so good as this worn out, slightly older post-college Peter, who people don't know anymore, who's been Spider-Man for a bit. Felt so much of a connection to this character. I too am kind of a sad, lonely 24-year-old who's out of college, and I had to leave all my friends and move to a new place. So I still have them in my life, but they're far away, and I'm struggling with some of just the general stuff that comes with being a young man and figuring out your identity and learning to be yourself in this world and how to work hard and how to motivate yourself, but also how to not isolate yourself from other people while doing that. It really hit home for me. It was weird how much I was like, wait a minute, am I Spider-Man? Okay, what else? Let's talk about the actual movie. Okay, some of the things that you're gonna read and gonna hear is that it's very much in line with the Raimi movies. It feels much more comic booky, and I think they understood the assignment, so to speak, because right away you get these quick clips of him fighting villains, these quick clips of him being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that we've been wanting to see. And I think it's done in a way where it allows us to get some of that satisfaction, but it doesn't linger on it too much, which is what makes that comic book panel feeling. And then also because of, you know how people used to say the Raimi movies were a little bit, what's the word, campy? They used to be like, oh, well, that's kind of ridiculous that the Green Goblin is like a guy in a big green suit. But then you get like Tombstone and Scorpion, and there's no explanation. I think the MCU has kind of become, it allows for the movies to not need context. Like this guy Scorpion is just in this ridiculously cool, almost like mech suit with a scorpion tail that he can like control out of nowhere. And it makes the fight really dynamic and interesting. I thought the Scorpion action especially was so cool and so unique. How did he get that suit? Where did that come from? He's been in jail? How did he get out of jail and get the suit? I don't know. But it doesn't matter because it's just a quick like 30-second clip where you're like, oh, Scorpion, oh, Tombstone, cool, all right. And then he looks like Tombstone. It's a cool thing that it makes the world feel a little bit larger than life, but still grounded enough to be like, oh no, that's New York City, he's Spider-Man, it works. There's a little bit of that cognitive dissonance where you have to forget that this is a world where like aliens have invaded and Thanos and the snap, like I didn't think about that the whole time. I kind of put that out of my brain, but I can see how if somebody else was thinking about that, they'd be like, oh, well, that breaks the immersion a little bit. Why are they worried about this thing when literally like aliens have come out of the sky and Doctor Strange just like rewound time and stuff? Fair enough. In the same way I mentioned that Tom feels comfortable in this character now, the directors have such a good grasp of what Spider-Man feels like because his quips are better, his movement is better, his web swinging is more interesting and creative. There's so many webs in this movie. He's webbing in every single scene, and we get to see it. We get to see the effects of him like web a car and then use the physics of it to pull it away. Or like, you know, as the car is breaking through the wall, he webs one of the walls and uses it to swing and take out 4 other people so that he can save them from the path of the destruction. Somebody had a creative vision in their mind of, well, what are some interesting ways that this character would use his body and his mind and his senses and his physical webbing to do something interesting that isn't just, you know, swing or web up a guy against a wall, which is also still cool, and we see that a bunch too. It feels like a character who has really come into his own with his own abilities, which is why I was like, yes, this feels comfortable. It feels normal because he's so competent. I want to see Spider-Man be Spider-Man, and it works. It's so good. And along with that, I said I'm a story guy first. I love a story, and this movie's story is nuanced and written. It feels like somebody came up with a story beforehand. It wasn't just, how can we shoehorn Spider-Man because we have to make a Spider-Man movie into this new thing. They all connect. The villain and his past and his trauma and his friends and the story arc he's internally going through with the conflict, with the physical changes, but also with his mental changes of how he's isolated himself from other people because he feels like he has to, but also because it just becomes the burden. You get comfortable in that sadness. You get comfortable in that loneliness because it's what you're used to. And so you do want to connect with people, but you don't know how anymore. Ties together so well. And by the end, I don't know how much spoiler I'm going to do. I'm not going to do spoilers. Maybe I've already spoiled stuff. The emotional through line and the emotional core of this movie being what it is, and that being used in some form of resolution, if you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about, was genius. Another thing that made me cry, but also another thing that I was just like, yes! All the parts come together and it makes sense, and I feel like I'm satisfied by the writing. It's just been a little bit weaker. I think Far From Home was a little weaker, and I think No Way Home was incredibly weak, but it had good spectacle and set pieces that we really liked looking forward to. But as a movie, like with a story, if you stripped away all the parts and it wasn't a Spider-Man movie, it was just guy does thing, interacts with character, and has resolution, it's way cleaner, way more concise. Actually, I shouldn't use the word cleaner. It's not clean in the sense that the movie isn't a bit busy, because it is. It's bloated. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of moving parts, but it does work because of the Rube Goldberg connection between everything, and it feels like when the final domino falls, you're like, oh, okay, that all makes sense. That's why this character would feel this and connect with it character in this way. They would then feel this way and do this as a result. It works. It really works. And there's other things too. I forgot about the Punisher. I forgot about the Hulk fight, which is in the trailers. Listen, both things were great. The Hulk is a bit superfluous. I think, how many times do I have to say this? I made a whole video about trailers. Guys, we're going to go see this movie. Everybody is going to go see Spider-Man. Don't show the Hulk in the trailer. I forgot that that was in the movie, and I was already enjoying it so much that when that scene sort of started to happen, I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this. This is gonna be so cool, I'm already liking the movie. But imagine if I didn't know it was gonna happen. Imagine if I was already loving the movie as much as I was, and then I got to see that, and then it doesn't feel like, because the fight is pretty short, and the trailer shows a lot of it. So it's like, you're almost setting yourself up for failure because you're hyping up this thing, and then people already have preconceived expectations of it. Don't give anybody expectations, and then literally anything you give them will be incredible. And it was a really cool fight. I like the way Peter recognizes that he's not a physical threat to the Hulk. It's not a physical match, so he has to be smart and also has to be evasive, and it's kind of like that TASM 1 Lizard versus Peter fight. It was similar to that, and I thought it was really well done. And I like that it's a consistent character with what we know Bruce Banner to be. They didn't completely ruin him by being like, oh no, he's just this super angry guy again. He is who he is. He's the same character that we've come to know over the past 15 years, but the fight is done well, if it's a bit short. And then the Punisher, the dynamic is really good. Him and John Bernthal going back and forth, you can tell they have chemistry, you can tell that they like each other. Like, it's simple, they're not just actors talking back and forth. Like, you can tell there's a good rapport. They both want to be in the movie, and they're both also comfortable in the characters that they are. You can feel a little bit of the difference with like Tramel Tillman and Sadie Sink, where like they're both also excellent, but you can tell they're performing as a new character that we've not quite established yet. Whereas the ones that have been doing this for a bit, Yelena and John Bernthal and Peter Parker, Tom Holland. MJ is way better in this movie. She's given not just a personality, but like Zendaya gets to be charming and entertaining and someone that you might connect with. And I really liked Peter and her connecting, because it reminds me of like when you meet your ex and you've had some distance and some space, and you realize like that spark that was initially there when you first met and you first fell for each other is still there. Like, it wasn't this random thing of just time and place. Like, you do have the banter, you do have a little bit of something, a little chemistry, a little tension, and they did it really well. And they're adults now too. Like, you can tell it's not high school kids who are kind of like, oh, you're pretty and I'm meant to like you because the script says so. It felt like two adults who don't have to fall in love, who don't have to like each other, but now they're post-college, they realize that the world sucks a bit, the world is a little bit lonely, and you rent an apartment with your friend, but you have to either sell your soul to make money, or you have to struggle a little bit, and then you meet someone who you have a connection with, and it's just like, oh, this feels good. This feels nice. This feels like I used to when I was younger. I was a little worried they were gonna lean on the MJ and Ned stuff too much, and maybe they kind of did. I don't know. It happens a little bit, but they didn't undo the effects of the spell. They didn't immediately give them their memory back, and even, I won't say, stakes are important. It's important to have cause and effect, and when things happen, there need to be consequences as a result of it. When Gwen's back snaps in TASM 2, you need her to die, and you need Peter to feel that and have it be the consequences of those actions. We cannot have them touch hands or kiss or look Ned in the eyes and they go, oh, I remember you. We can't have that, because then it's too convenient and it's too easy, and it just undercuts all of the gravity of that choice in that moment. Basically, I'm saying this movie made me feel incredible. It's just Spider-Man. It's like the comic come to life. It's a writer who knows what they're doing. It's an actor who's comfortable and in his prime with this character. It feels like they proved me wrong. I had doubts, I was worried, I was annoyed. I was like, oh, we're giving Tom Holland another 3 movies. Ugh, he isn't that good, he doesn't deserve. This is Spider-Man. There are kids now out there who are watching this growing up, anyone between the ages of 5 and 15 right now, going to the movie and going, oh, I saw Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I also saw Spider-Verse and Beyond the Spider-Verse before. They got a little taste of the Tobey, Andrew, Tom stuff, but Tom is their central piece, and then they get to see Brand New Day as like the launch of their new experience with Spider-Man. Even if the MCU does collapse, even if those movies are never quite hit the same heights, I'm so glad that kids will always have Spider-Man as a uniting force forever. I'm looking up vintage Spider-Man merch online I want to buy. I want to get another Spider-Man calendar because it was on my wall when I was a kid. I love the character. I love what it means for me and for people, and I hope the next movie they make is an experienced 31-year-old Spider-Man who now has a kid and is worried and has the anxieties of what it means to be a middle-aged person and worrying about death and worrying about getting older and is losing, I guess he's already lost his parents, but you get the idea, because I'm going to be going through that stuff in 5 or 6 years, so I'd love it if Spider-Man could also be going through it, because then it'll teach me how to go through that stuff too. Because Spider-Man is a foil for everybody's life, but feels very specifically connected to my life right now, which is really special. Yeah, I gave it a 5 stars on Letterboxd, and I don't really do that often, but I just felt too good leaving the theater. It's not a 5-star movie. There's definitely issues with it. I think objectively it's probably somewhere between 4 and 4.5 is probably about right, but I just feel too positive about it to give it anything less, and that's what movies are about. It's about the way they make you feel. Let me know what you thought. And I also, again, I kind of feel this way about most things when I do like something. If you didn't like it, let me know why. Let me know what the issues were, what things stood out, what broke your immersion, what didn't work for you, because that's important to me to know, because I like to have a balanced perspective. Yeah, I guess that's all from me. I love Spider-Man. I hope you love Spider-Man too. I guess I will see you when I see you. Peace.